Have you ever wondered why we seem to attract the very relationships that cause us pain? It's almost as if we find ourselves on a never-ending carousel of toxic interactions, spiraling into cycles that leave us feeling drained and confused. If you've ever experienced this, you're not alone. In fact, many people unknowingly repeat the same emotional patterns, getting trapped in toxic relationships that mirror past experiences. Today, we will dive deep into the reason behind this phenomenon and explore how awareness can help heal these attachment wounds. By the end of this video, you will uncover the hidden emotional patterns that may be influencing your choices and how to break free from these cycles. Let's begin by examining what we mean by toxic relationships. A toxic relationship is characterized by a consistent pattern of behavior that harms one or both partners. This can be emotional manipulation, control, neglect, or any interaction that diminishes one's self-worth. It's crucial to understand that many individuals who find themselves repeatedly in these situations often do so because of their unresolved past experiences. Imagine a child who grows up in a household where love is conditional. They may learn that affection only comes with certain behaviors, leading them to unconsciously seek partners who replicate this dynamic. Even as adults, they subconsciously gravitate towards relationships where they must earn love, perpetuating a cycle of toxicity. This brings us to the core of why we repeat these toxic patterns: emotional triggers. Toxic relationships often evoke strong emotions that resonate with unresolved issues from our past. These triggers can range from feelings of unworthiness to intense fear of abandonment. So, when faced with a new partner who, intentionally or not, activates these triggers, we often find ourselves dancing to a well-rehearsed but painful rhythm. Perhaps this resonates with you. You might identify moments in your life where you felt drawn to someone despite your better judgment. You might think to yourself, "Why do I keep choosing people who hurt me?" The answer lies in our attachment styles, which are shaped by early attachments with caregivers. If you've experienced inconsistent access to love or support as a child, you may develop an anxious or avoidant attachment style. These styles create an internal conflict, driving you toward relationships that fulfill your unmet needs, but also reflect the volatility of your early experiences. Now, you may be wondering, how can awareness bring about healing? The first step lies in recognizing these patterns and understanding the emotional triggers that govern your choices. By becoming aware of what drives you to repeat these cycles, you can start to reclaim your power and make healthier relationship choices. As you begin to identify these patterns, consider keeping a journal. Document your relationship experiences, noting recurring themes or behaviors. This reflection can illuminate connections to your past and help you understand why certain patterns persist. Additionally, mindfulness plays a crucial role in this healing process. By practicing mindfulness, you can learn to pause before reacting to emotional triggers. This space allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reflexively, breaking the cycle of reactivity that often characterizes toxic relationships. Seeking professional support can also be a game changer. A therapist can help you explore your emotional patterns in a safe environment, guiding you toward healthier attachments. Therapy provides a platform to work through deep-seated issues and learn new ways of relating to others. Now let's discuss the concept of emotional boundaries. Establishing firm boundaries is essential in changing the narrative of your relationships. Boundaries allow you to protect your emotional well-being and communicate your needs effectively. This empowerment can attract healthier partners, as they will respect your limits and engage with you on more equal footing. But how do we define healthy relationships? Healthy relationships are built on respect, trust, and open communication. They foster growth and encourage vulnerability without the fear of judgment or manipulation. By nurturing these qualities within ourselves, we attract partners who mirror these values. Let's take a moment to reflect on the power of choice. Many people believe that once they find themselves in a toxic situation, they are powerless to change it. The truth is, You always have a choice. Every day, you can choose to move towards self-love and self-respect. By consciously making choices that align with your values, you begin to shift the dynamics in your relationships. As we move closer to the conclusion of this video, let's emphasize one critical point. Breaking free from toxic relationships takes time. It's a journey that requires patience, self-compassion, and the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. Each small step you take towards understanding your patterns is a step toward liberation. Remember, it's not just about breaking away from toxic individuals. It's about healing the wounds that draw you to them in the first place. So, as you reflect on your journey, ask yourself, what emotional patterns are holding you back? It's never too late to change the narrative of your story. Embrace this journey of awareness and healing, and as you do, allow yourself to envision the fulfilling, healthy relationships that await you. If stories like this resonate with you and you want to explore more secrets to emotional healing, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Your journey toward healthier relationships starts here. Remember, you are not alone. Together, we can break the chains of toxic patterns and move toward a brighter, healthier future. Sometimes the hardest truth to accept is that healing doesn't begin the moment you leave someone toxic. It begins the moment you finally understand why you stayed, and that realization can be painful. It forces you to confront parts of yourself you've tried to ignore, the wounds you minimized, the needs you never voiced, the loneliness you tried to fill with the wrong people. But this discomfort is not a setback. It's the doorway to transformation. When you see your patterns clearly, you stop calling them fate and start calling them choices. And here's where the real shift begins. When you allow yourself to believe you deserve better. Because toxic relationships don't just thrive on the other person's behavior. They thrive on the quiet belief that this is all you can get. Challenge that belief. Question every story you've told yourself about your worth. When you do, you create a new internal blueprint, one that no longer matches the chaos you once accepted as love. Healing also requires slowing down. Many people jump into new connections, hoping the excitement will erase old wounds. But unresolved pain doesn't disappear. It resurfaces. So give yourself permission to pause. Sit with your emotions, even the uncomfortable ones. Let clarity replace desperation. You'll find that when you stop rushing to be chosen, you finally become able to choose wisely. And remember this, healthy love feels different. It doesn't create constant anxiety. It doesn't punish you for being honest. It doesn't make you beg for what should be freely given. Healthy love feels steady, secure, consistent. When you begin to heal, these qualities stop feeling foreign. They start feeling like the new standard. So if you're listening to this right now, let it be your reminder that breaking the pattern is possible. You are not fated to repeat the same painful stories. You are allowed to outgrow the people who hurt you. You are allowed to rewrite the script. And you are allowed to demand a love that doesn't wound you. A love that finally reflects the person you are becoming, not the pain you've survived. Why do we repeat emotional patterns? It may surprise you to learn that much of our behavior is programmed subconsciously. We often wake up, go about our day, and end it without ever considering the underlying emotional drivers that shape our thoughts and actions. But what if I told you that by bringing awareness to these patterns, we can actually rewrite our habits? Think about it. Every argument you have, every friend you've lost, and every opportunity missed often circles around a common theme. This is not just bad luck or poor decision-making. These are emotional patterns, and they are deeply rooted in our subconscious. You might be wondering, what exactly is subconscious programming? Our subconscious mind is like a powerful computer, a storehouse for all our memories, beliefs, and experiences. It shapes our perceptions of the world, driving us towards certain behaviors almost automatically. When something triggers an emotion, our subconscious kicks into gear, and before we realize it, we are acting out of habit rather than choice. Now, here's a shocking statistic. According to psychological studies, Over 90% of our daily actions are driven by subconscious processes. Yes, you heard that right. This is why we often feel stuck, replaying the same mistakes over and over again. But do not despair. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. When we begin to recognize our emotional triggers, the things that set off an automatic reaction, we empower ourselves to make conscious choices instead of being puppets of our past. Consider this. Let's say you always end up in toxic relationships. You may think you're just unlucky, but there's likely a pattern at play. Perhaps you learned from a young age that love requires suffering, or that you aren't worthy of true connection. When you bring awareness to these beliefs, you can challenge and ultimately change them. It's essential to delve deep into this process. Self-reflection and mindfulness allow you to see your emotional patterns with clarity. Ask yourself, what triggers my anxiety? Why do I react defensively in certain conversations? And here's where it gets exciting. The moment you acknowledge your patterns, you begin to disrupt them. That's right. You're not just a victim of your emotions. You can take control. You can decide how to respond instead of reacting out of fear or anger. Imagine facing a trigger and shifting your response. What if, instead of feeling anxious when someone criticizes you, you responded with curiosity? You could dig deeper, ask questions, and learn something new. Your entire emotional landscape begins to shift. Now, you may be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Effective techniques like journaling, meditation, and practicing gratitude can cultivate awareness. These practices help to ground you in the present moment, allowing you to observe your reactions instead of being swept away by them. Let's take a moment to reflect on the importance of mindfulness. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for rewriting your habits. By practicing it daily, you start to create space between a trigger and your reaction, granting you the freedom to choose differently. And here's a key insight. Change doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice and dedication. But trust me, it's worth it. Now, halfway through our journey together, I'd like to invite you to take action. If stories like this resonate with you and you want to learn more about how to break free from emotional chains, make sure to subscribe to our channel and activate that notification bell. We've only scratched the surface, and I can't wait to share more insights that can transform your life. As you continue this journey of self-discovery, keep in mind the concept of emotional triggers. These can be anything from a specific phrase, a person's tone, or even a location that evokes strong feelings. When you encounter these triggers, become an observer. What do you feel? How does your body react? This awareness will serve as your compass as you navigate your emotional landscape. Now, imagine the freedom that comes from rewriting these patterns. As you replace old habits with new, healthier responses, you'll find a sense of empowerment. You'll no longer be controlled by your past, but rather be the architect of your future emotional experiences. I encourage you to experiment. When you feel an emotional reaction rising within you, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this reaction serving me? Is it based on a truth or an old belief? Every time you do this, you're rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that lead to healthier responses. And don't forget the role of community. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth. Share your patterns with them and hold each other accountable. There's something incredibly powerful about collective awareness. As we move toward the end of our exploration, remember that the road to emotional wellness is paved with understanding and compassion, both for yourself and others. You're not alone in this journey. Every person faces emotional triggers. It's how we respond that sets us apart. As we conclude, take a moment to reflect on your patterns. Which ones no longer serve you? What will you choose to let go of? And more importantly, what will you invite into your life moving forward? Remember, awareness is the key that unlocks the door to a new paradigm of emotional intelligence. You have the power to change your life, one conscious choice at a time. So, as this video wraps up, keep this promise in your heart. You are capable of rewriting your habits and transforming your emotional landscape. Your journey begins now.